Over the last year, I've noticed quite a lot of conflict between marketing teams and sales reps. If you're a pharma rep or a marketing person, I'm pretty sure you might have had some similar experiences. And I'm wondering if there aren't some simple solutions to create a more aligned experience for internal teams and also their customers. I think the conflict when it happens is kind of alarming because the two functions should really be fluid. They're both driven by the same commercial and customer goals. It seems that sales are focused on targets, target actions and figures, and their personal relationships. Marketing are generally focused on generating leads and engagement, and then pushing messages to the intended audience through various tactics and channels, of which the sales force is kind of considered as one. And for me, it seems that in carrying out the roles, both teams have a bit of a lack of communication and often collaboration. And that's mainly because they don't work together on strategy. So this is how I usually see it play out. Marketing come up with the strategy. Sales are given targets by their team, which are based on specific actionable goals like email sends and customer meets, which don't really connect directly with the marketing strategy, right? The marketing team then forces sales to use their tactical assets that they've created. Sales doesn't really understand the purpose of any of those tactical assets or the strategy. And then they also added to that feel that it kind of conflicts directly with some of their personal target objectives. Then marketing become frustrated that sales won't use all the stuff that they made and spend money on. And in the end, both teams are fighting to achieve different personal goals. So the question is, how do we solve this? Well, two ways, I think. First, co-create. If you want a customer-centric marketing plan and you're a marketeer, talk to your sales team. You should have loads of time for them. They offer incredible insight. They know your customers really well. They know what attracts them to a conversation. They know what your customers believe in. They know what resonates. They know how much time they have. They have these personal relationships and a deep understanding of the value that your customers see in your product, as well as its pitfalls. And that is really key for a communication strategy. If you do co-create a strategy, it will be one that includes a really deep insight into your customers. And then both functions, sales and marketing, will be aligned on their mission and goals. And you'll also find that using a co-created strategy really increases the likelihood that your sales force will use the assets that you actually deliver to them. Most importantly, you need sales and marketing to work seamlessly to attract your audience, to develop belief in the value of your product, to understand your audience's objections and convert new customers. Sales can provide the insight and develop the relationship. Marketing can produce the engagement opportunities and the assets that the sales force can use to deepen those relationships and increase the value generated from every customer. So you can really see why the two teams should be regularly feeding back to each other and adapting their tactics and strategy based on that insight that they get together. And that neither function can actually achieve those goals alone. At Brandcast Health, we've conducted a number of successful cross-functional workshops between sales and marketing, and the feedback from both teams is always amazing. And the result is often a huge increase in the use of any co-created assets or campaign strategy. So that's just from personal observation. Second thing, as well as co-creating strategy, I think it's really important to make Salesforce targets a little bit more customer-centric. And I'm not saying it's the case everywhere, but often I think it's a bit more qualitative compared with quantitative. For example, I think there should be more emphasis on the value of the data and insight that the Salesforce can get from key accounts. The number of indications or products you can convince customers to try. Sure, the volume of prescriptions and sales, but what about the number of advocates created or testimonials received or case studies provided, things like that. Looking at goals that can really connect directly with the objectives of the marketing team and the business as a whole. And then there's one final missing link for me, and that's customer service. And it always confuses me a little bit in pharma that this function doesn't really exist. It's not really clear to me whether customer service is provided by sales or marketing or anyone. And I think they both play a role, and that's why we call salespeople, often we call them account managers, which isn't really the same as a sales rep. But even when you have account managers, it seems that the targets are often more sales orientated than account manager or customer service orientated. So I think that's a huge gap. And it's especially important because healthcare professionals need to succeed once they start using a product. And And only if, once they've been convinced to use it, if they don't succeed, they're not going to use it again, and they're not going to try new indications. So, I think it's up to the marketing team to produce assets and resource to help healthcare professionals use the product properly, like reference materials. But it's really the role of the account manager or the salesperson to support with questions, to answer questions or objections, and be that personal expert on the product. Clinicians like to engage in discussion and debate, and I think it's unlikely that they'll get what they need simply from a website or marketing assets alone. So that customer service piece is really important. Personally, I think that a mindset shift is needed and that both departments should align on strategy. Sales targets should be a little bit more aligned to marketing and business strategic imperatives, and customer service or clinical success should be included in that strategy to maximize the value of converted accounts and to create advocates. Marketeers, remember, account managers are not really sales reps. They are kind of like customer success consultants. With that mindset, we should be aligning and creating an experience for our customers together to help them succeed. If you look at the device industry, we don't see this kind of conflict. And I think it's because account managers form long-lasting partnerships, have deep respect from their customers due to their expertise on the product. And they're really critical to that kind of demoing and testing phase. And I think that's something to look at in pharma and maybe to learn from. So anyway, I'd love to hear your experiences and thoughts, so that we can learn from each other and grow together in this industry. Do you see conflict or do you see harmony? I'd especially love to hear those stories of successes. So please do comment away and give your ideas and tips. And if you like this sort of content, please feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. Send me a DM if you want to chat or a call. Subscribe to the Braincast Health YouTube channel where there's more videos like this, or visit our website, braincasthealth.com, and sign up there. So see you all soon.